Welcome back to Game 3 of the Lords of Middle-earth. What round is this? Round of 32, I think? Yeah, round of 32. Game 3 between myself and Strider656. So, Game 3, we do bidding, right? Fair action tokens. Generally, less high bidding with the Lord's expansion because it's pretty generally recognized as stronger for the free peoples anyway, but still something of an advantageous win rate for the Shadow player across the average for all the stats we have anyway, So anyway, I opened with 0, he counterbid 1, then I counterbid 2, and he took that. So, yep, here we are. I'm Shadow, he's Free Peoples with 2 tokens for Game 3, and he puts Boromir out, which is fun, anyway. It's more fun having a companion out. And he has Guards of the Citadel, so I guess the plan is to make a Mega Blob here in Gondor. Okay, so it feels nice to Shadow getting that token anyway. Okay, so Fellowship says, okay, 1 eye in. 1 eye rolled for me, and 1 from Gandalf. Thank you very much, Gandalf. Okay, I put Isengard to war. He passes again. I do some pretty usual moving troops along. He draws a character card here, which I was a little surprised by. Normally people save that card for dodging cruel weather. That's not crazy. If you picked up Wizard Staff right here, that'd be very handy. But anyway. Oh, no, right. He also wanted to save moving for the last thing of the turn so that I couldn't get the chief. If he does get hit and revealed, then I can't get the chief. So, okay, use Boromir's ability to bring Gondor closer to war. I bring out Saruman. He does some pretty usual troop movements. Although, actually, that regular to Polar Gear isn't super normal. It makes sense given the extra protection Minas Tirith has from Boromir and guards to just move that protection over to possibly help Dol Amroth. I move my troops along. He thinks about that. Right, boosts those troops to Fords of Isen. I think that makes sense. I think about continuing moving along, but I decide to muster Sauron to war instead because that makes it more likely, I guess, that I can get both Gothmog and the Witch King next turn. And what do you call it? And I didn't really want to get the Balrog right now because I'm still hoping to be able to run all the way to Woodland Realm, and that's still like 6 spots away. And if I, give him 1 muster now from the Balrog, he can also use that token next turn. So then they're only 1 step away from war, and yeah. Okay, so now the Fellowship moves, and they are hit, but they aren't revealed. So away goes Gandalf very efficiently for a 3, and we're off to the next turn. So Gandalf's great contribution to this game was to roll an eye and then drop dead. Thanks, Gandalf. Okay, so I put in 1 eye and roll 0 more, and he rolls right that wrong. Oh, man, it doesn't get worse than that. Just so much mustering and, well, not a lot of movement, but a lot of mustering anyway for the Shadow player, and just 0 moves for the Fellowship. You could spend a ring to move once, but you have to spend a ring, though. Yeah, it feels eerily familiar to last game anyway, where the Fellowship is just not moving. So I bring the Southrons closer to war. Gondor finishes getting to war. I bring the Southrons more to war. He musters in Minas Tirith, which I find interesting. If I were him, I would have been a little bit more scared of Corsairs anyway, since I just mustered the Southrons to war, and you just put Gondor to war, so I'd probably be more tempted to put those guys in Dol Amroth anyway. Yeah, I move along like I don't actually have Corsairs, but I'm pretending like I do anyway. So I'm very fascinated that he said pass there, and with the first one that he didn't muster, because he could have had 2 elites in Dol Amroth right now. And true, Minas Tirith would only be, 3-1-2, but he could still, use this Palantir to put guards, to play guards and have it at full strength if I did come and besiege it. I play Shadows on the Misty Mountains because it's just a cool card. And as everyone knows, the point of this game is cool things. I keep moving towards the Dew Line. Now he plays Guards of the Citadel. I keep moving towards the Dew Line. He moves the Elves closer to war. I get out Gothmog, and he brings out Galadriel. I was a little surprised he didn't, put troops in the way or continue getting the Elves to war, but getting a Keeper die in play does make a lot of sense, yeah. So I pick up Cruel Weather and Many Kings to the Service of Mordor. Those are 2 fantastic cards right there. And he picks up Wind from the West, so I think you can see what's going to happen here. I say 0 eyes, and I roll 2. He rolls none. And he plays Wind from the West right away, so very sad for me. I have to show all these nice cards. And, of course, he picks Cruel Weather to take it away. It's very sad, just because now not only do I not have it to play it, but now he knows that it's not there. So if he does get to Mordor, he doesn't have to do the worrying about whether I have it and maybe moving an extra time and getting hurt more. he knows for sure that it's not there. So. Okay, out comes the Balrog. Since I see that he can't muster at all, then I'm okay with playing the Balrog here because... Right, I wanted to have it here in case he does get hit and revealed while going by Moria, so then I have a chance at assassinating Strider, or making Galadriel's ring get used up anyway. Oh, no, right. This is extra the thought that I had here. With Shadows in the Misty Mountains and the elite from the Balrog, then this army is strong enough to go and besiege Rivendell and hopefully force a reveal, too. So, out comes Gandalf the White, thinks about putting him in Lorien, decides to leave him in Fangorn, though. So off I go towards, Rivendell and Woodland Realm. He draws a strategy card. I besiege Rivendell, so I'm quite happy to... Oh, right, he says stay. And I happen to have Swarm of Bats to deal with his scouts. Anyway, and I only get 1 hit on 6 dice, which is a little below average. And he gets 1 hit back, but that's overall still a good deal for me anyway. I'm just happy to get these rerolls on the Fellowship because they've only taken 1 step, so just the increased likelihood of a reveal would feel really good, So he passes. I besiege Woodland Realm. Oh, sorry, it lagged a little bit. He does move the Fellowship now. They get hit anyway without my rerolls, but it is not a reveal. So, then I move leadership around. Right, okay, I bring all the leadership to Rivendell because I think my line of thinking is not only if I conquer Rivendell, then there's no... then there can't be any Elrond, so I can't use Elrond's ring to go faster. And since the Fellowship has such a slow start, that'd be nice for me. And also, if the Shadow Stronghold is conquered, then I can bring in the Chief right there, sitting on top of Rivendell. So that is also something. He plays Elven Cloaks. I attack Rivendell. I guess I'm playing Great Host here. Nope, I'm playing We Come to Kill. Oh, no, yeah, okay, that's reasonable. So I get 2 hits. That's nice. And he gets 1 hit back, so that's fine. He does have his heroic death, though, so 2, and then my post, okay, the We Come to Kill whiffs completely. I decide to press anyway. I'm a little surprised I'm not playing Great Host here, but that's okay. I get 1 hit, he gets 1 hit. So I decide to press, and I guess now I'm playing Great Host. Okay, so I get my 1 hit, and Rivendell is finished. Okay, so off we go to the next turn. They decide to declare away from the rerolls. I think that makes sense. I put in 1 eye and roll 1 more. Now he... Okay, I choose to chuck the Balrog die and keep the Gothmog die. Which I guess is because I'm going to get the Chief this turn. And if I get the Chief this turn, then I can't activate the Balrog die because that would make the Balrog die go away. So, okay. Right, he thinks about bringing some... Boromir shenanigans out, but he decides to not, and he thinks about it. He plays I Will Go Alone here, and out comes Strider to Fords of Isen. Okay, I draw a card, and then he plays Gwai here to get Strider the rest of the way. So he could have not played Gwai here, and he could have gone to Druwithiar and then gone to Dol Amroth, but then, of course, Aragorn isn't with this nice big army that he wants to do things with, so it's a reasonable choice for sure. Out comes the Chief. Aragorn is crowned. Apparently I brought Gothmog down to Umbar at some point. So now he gets his army together to go and challenge Mordor, I think. I bring the Nazgul leadership back. He moves off towards North Ithilien. And so my thinking here is that I'm scared of through a day and a night, so I move my army to Moran and this army here to fight them as they come. But you might be thinking, Bob, doesn't that leave you completely defenseless to, the elves walking into Moria? You're right. I'm just an idiot. I just forgot about that. So he just walks along, and, if I had Pits of Mordor or Rage of the Dunlendings, then that would be great, and I could, counter that and defend Moria. But I don't have that. I'm just stupid. So I draw a strategy card instead, hoping for, cards to help me defend next turn. So I really should have, with that hybrid die, I should have mustered a regular in Morannon and a regular in Moria. That way he could still walk closer, but, then at least Moria's defended. He can't just walk into it anyway. So I pick up a couple of nice cards here anyway. I can chuck the red tiles because it feels like that's not going to come up this game anyway. And say 0 eyes and roll this beautiful roll. Lots of musters, lots of attacks. And he rolls a decent roll. That's a little low on attacks compared to what you would expect. I think 4 attacks would be expected, and he's got 3. So he uses... Oh, right, I have to pick which one to chuck first. I chuck the Balrog die because I don't need to activate him. Okay. So he uses the Will of the West to walk into Moria, which makes perfect sense, before I muster in there with my many musters. What am I thinking here? I don't remember. So anyway, I put an elite in Morannon to hopefully make that at least cost him more. So now he besieges Morannon. I play a New Powers Rising. The plan is to retake Moria at this point. So now he asks about it. It's an interesting ruling for the Balrog here because he's a level 0 companion, and he wasn't with an army, so he actually survives as Moria is conquered. He's kind of just hiding, and when this army comes to besiege Moria, he joins the besieging army, so that's very good news for me. Anyway. He draws a strategy card, which makes sense. I walk towards Minas Tirith and towards North Dunland at the same time. So this was an important move for me because pressuring Minas Tirith and Moria at the same time makes him choose. He can either spend a ring to separate the companions into Moria right now to help protect it, or he can, give me a stronghold for free in Minas Tirith. So I think he actually would have been better off spending a ring to put those companions into Moria. But he chooses to defend Minas Tirith too, which is, entirely reasonable. It would feel bad to let a regular walk into Minas Tirith. So now I besiege Moria, and, he would have to stick it out for a field battle, which would be unlikely to win, especially with the Balrog's leadership and extra combat dice. Okay, so now I bring in the Mouth in Dol Guldur. And then I do Shadows Gather. So that was a really nice card combo. Which specifically, I did draw more strategy cards at the end of last turn with that Palantir, hoping for useful cards like this, and I drew this card here. So the getting to Shadows Gather and bring this army over to join up is pretty useful. So I attack Moria here. He plays a Daylight. I get 1 hit. He gets 1 hit back. That's a nice result for me for sure. I use my free press, probably playing Devilry of Orthanc now. Yeah, against Shield Wall. And I get 1 hit, and he gets 2 hits back. So, yeah, it's still doable for sure. I'm just a little bit scared because my army dwindled a little bit faster than I was hoping it would, So now he attacks Morannon, plays no quarter, and he rolls 1 hit. I roll 0 hits back on 6 dice, which feels bad for sure. We had a disconnection there. There's my reroll all the way at the end there. And he says, press no card, and he rolls another 2 6s. I only get 1 hit back. Then he presses no card and rolls another 2 6s. So just jeepers creepers. So he's on his 4 points. I need to retake Moria or I lose. Lol. So now I reposition my Nazgul just because I have They Are Terrible and Cruel as Death, which are both good combat cards, and I can't play either of them as it was because I did have 5 leadership there, but it's from the Balrog and the alternate Mouth. So neither of those are Nazgul leadership, and you need to be able to forfeit 1 or 2 points of Nazgul leadership for these 2 cards. So, Okay, so he draws a strategy card. I use the Mouth's ability to attack Moria. I play They Are Terrible, and I get 0 hits. So that was frustrating. He gets 1 hit back. I do the free press, and now I'm playing Orc Patrol, and I get 3 hits, which were all natural 6s. So it turns out I didn't need the Nazgul leadership or to play either of these cards, but, feels good to be better safe than sorry anyway. Okay, so I survived the turn anyway. So he musters in Pelargir, and I muster in Barad-dûr, and we move on to the next turn. So now I pick up Durin's Bane. Would have been a very useful card just now. Still is a useful card for fights from Lorien, potentially, anyway. So I say 0 eyes, and I make up for my 0 eyes last time by rolling 4 eyes this time, so that hurts. So I actually made a mistake here. I thought Galadriel had rolled a character die. I checked earlier. This is actually my second take recording this video. I messed something up the first time, so I'm redoing it anyway. Which is why it's a week late, because after recording something and realizing you can't use it, it's really depressing to try to do the same video over again. I just didn't want to. So it's a week later, and I forgot about it. Now I feel like it. So yeah, anyway, all that to say, he should have actually had that extra character die. We can talk more about how important that may or may not have been later. Anyway. Okay, so he musters in Pelargir. I muster in Umbar and in Barad-dûr. He musters more in Pelargir and Minas Tirith. I play Horde from the East in South Ruin there. Like, it just feels good to, like, the army in Gondor is still quite strong, so just swamping it with armies from both sides is a really good way to make it difficult for him anyway. He plays swords in Eriador, I guess just for the cycle. So I walk out towards, especially seeing that he can't muster in Lorien, and I can just take it for free. That feels nice for sure. Okay, so I take Lorien and walk towards Aragorn there, and he attacks Gorgoroth. And now I realize that what I should have done here is play Shadow Lengthens to bring the army with Gothmog here into Gorgoroth so that they'd be here to fight Aragorn. Because now, if he can, leave a strong enough army to defend Moran and send the rest of them to go and take Barad-dûr, then he can just win that way this turn. And this is another moment of me just being an idiot and forgetting. Anyway. Okay, so Gorgoroth, no card. He gets one hit, I don't. He debates for a little while about what to send and what to keep. He keeps 3 and Boromir there and sends Aragorn and 5. So I besiege Morannon. I could have mustered an elite in Barad-dûr instead, but this way I can besiege it and then move leadership, and then I have 1 die to attack and try to take Morannon back. And specifically with having Mumakil in hand to use for it, I like those odds better than 5 hit points defending against Aragorn, because I don't know what cards he has. Like, if he has Andúril and, like a Valor here, then I don't, like, that's scary. I don't know if that's going to work. So anyway, he besieges Barad-dûr, of course. It's really nice. That's the other plus side to going after Rivendell. Him not having Elrond's ability to yoink back a die and use it again is pretty clutch. Okay, so now I move leadership over, and I put an Nazgul in Barad-dûr just to hurt him while he besieges it. So he plays Valor, which makes perfect sense, and gets 1 hit. I get 2 hits. So that's doing a lot better than the siege in Miranda did. And he presses, and I'm not sure if he's going to play anything. Yeah, no card. He gets 1 hit, not 2. So blessedly for me, Barad-dûr holds, and I don't have to try to retake Morannon now, but I do anyway because it just makes sense. So Mumakil against Shield Wall. I get 2 hits, -1, and he gets 0 hits back, so the Mumakil effect triggers for another +1 and press. Yeah, just clarifying, this is alternate Boromir, so he only gets the extra combat die if the defending army is in Gondor or Osgiliath. So that doesn't work here. So I think I say no card. Yeah, and I roll my 6 here. And he gets 1 hit back, but I'm still very happy with that deal. Picks up Athelas and Celeborns. Okay, so I say 0 eyes again, and only roll the Balrog eye. So thanks, Balrog. That is actually a little bit thanks. Like 3 free movement here would be pretty appetizing for the free peoples. I could even use a ring and do it a 4th time. So anyway, back to whether that character die would have made a difference. I don't think it would have. Like, maybe he could have used it to attack Barad-dûr again. But, like, with these hit points versus these hit points, there's decent odds I would have killed that regular back anyway, and that this would still have not worked. And also, because this army took Morannon back anyway, like, I don't think that character die would have changed the game. So Aragorn thinks about running away, but decides to stay at Barad-dûr and attack first. So he plays Andúril, and I thought about playing Deadly Strife here, but for some reason chose not to. I really should have, because then that regular would have killed Aragorn in return, and that would have, that would have helped. That would have felt better. So I put an Orc for reroll on Holland, and I bring the army down to retake Barad-dûr. Now Aragorn runs away, and Gandalf runs down to Pelargir. I move leadership around. He plays the Power of Tom Bombadil, because Lowell might as well. I muster up an Umbar. He musters down the north. I can attack Barad-dûr. He finishes mustering down the north. I draw cards, Corsairs, that's nice. I draw another card. It's Desperate Battle. I play Monsters Roused because I guess that just, it helps Moria and Mount Gundabad feel safer against the North, which are now at war, you know, and slightly mustered up in the Shire. So now I attack Barad-dûr, no card. He plays Daylight. I just roll 6 anyway. He gets 1 hit back, but yeah, it's not a big deal. Okay, so now I move Leadership to Woodland Realm to hopefully take that, and the Fellowship moves, and they're safe. So I attack Woodland Realm. I use the Deadly Strife, and it gets the 3 hits necessary. He gets 2 hits back. So yeah, it feels very in my favor at this point, for sure. Yeah, if he'd had better luck holding Moria, or in both the battles that just happened, then he'd had a good shot, but it's definitely playing from the back foot as Free Peoples now anyway. So he attacks Woodland Realm, no hits, but you get to reinforce with those troops. So we move towards Minas Tirith. Aragorn comes to Osgiliath, besiege Minas Tirith. He attacks Osgiliath with the Gandalf army, no card, no card. No hits dealt on either side, and he retreats to Minas Tirith. So now I play Nazgul Search. Right, I guess revealing them into Moria feels good anyway. So he thinks about going to North Dunland, decides to go to Moria instead. For the Balrog, we bring out Smeagol, and then for Moria, we draw an eye. So if there was time for this to be a normal game, that would have been a great result for the Free Peoples, but yeah, it feels a little bit too late at this point. Faramir joins them in Osgiliath, so that's fun. But yeah, Mordor is very well protected now, so that's it's very wishful thinking from Aragorn and Gandalf at this point. So he passes. I attack Minas Tirith. I get my 2 hits. He gets 2 hits back, but it doesn't really matter. He attacks West Horondor. No card, no card. He gets a hit. I attack Dale. Like, I probably could play this a little bit slower and safer by mustering an Umbar, but it was 5 o'clock and I had to get going. So anyway, I attack Dale. He plays Heroic Death. I get 2 hits. He gets 1 hit back. He retreats to Erebor. Then he musters in Pelargir in the Shire, and I play Corsairs to attack Pelargir for my 10 points here. And I play Desperate Battle just to hopefully finish it quickly, and yeah, I get him. So yeah, I don't feel like, so I say in the comments I don't particularly feel like I deserve the win, which I mean, like, I played reasonably well, like I did okay, but I did make a couple pretty bad mistakes, so a win for me and a loss for him feels a little bit, I don't know. It feels like 0.6 of a win for me, you know? Anyway, let's take a look-see at the statistics, because that is... Again, sorry, got distracted. Right, looking at statistics. Oh, right, I already clicked on that. Okay, so pretty average for me, anyway. +2 on H, -2 on armies, so that's net neutral for attacks. Like, +1 on Palantirs, really nothing to complain about here, though. +3 on 5s, so, like, again, like, slightly helpful. That might have been not helpful at all, though. I don't remember when those showed up. Here's the story, though. -2 on wills, -3 on characters, +5 on Palantirs. So great, thanks Java. Yeah, no, all in all though, I think a well-played game by him. Happy to get the win, of course. But yeah, a good series. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.